welcome, ladies and gentlemen, back to the Overwatch Intel Extreme Masters Invitational here in Gyeonggi in Korea. I am Lee D-Man Smith, and joining me for this one is Mitch Ubershouts Leslie once again. It's Lunatic High up against Afreeca Freecs Blue, who are on your screen there, who've just brought it back all square, one apiece after Ilios. And now we're going to be moving on to Hanamura.
Yeah, so it's going to be a completely different a change of pace at the very least, Lee, as well. Seeing a 2CP map come up at this point now, how teams going to play around that one, it is all about those choke points, right? So definitely a different aspect to what we saw earlier on that control map. But again, these two teams showing us a lot of different compositions, but not all of them are working that well.
Yeah, I mean, it's something we obviously touched on yesterday with Misfits. Pretty much a new team, effectively, with 4 new players. And we're looking at Afreeca Freecs Blue, of course, with 2 new players coming in there. It does seem they are a little stale on team composition, right. Certainly in the first map on Gibraltar. They did make a few adjustments, of course, going into the control point map. But on Hanamura, are we going to see more of the same?
Probably not, actually. I think we should see... Okay, so May's obviously fallen out of favour a little bit in the past, but we saw how damn good it was yesterday. Luxury Watch Red gave Gyeonggi Panthera so much trouble just purely from the presence of May and the walls that they were able to put up on the defense. Now that, in my opinion, that's fundamental stuff, Lee. That's Mickey Mouse Overwatch. If you can't deal with a May wall, you're going to get dumpstered. Now, we should still see it here because I think she's incredibly robust and gives your team a lot of advantage and control in those situations where you do need to push through a choke point. But we'll have to see.
Well, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Map number 3 underway. It will, of course, be Hanamura. I think it's up time they updated the graphics for that, because they got this big Intel Extreme Master trophy, which of course you will pick up at Katowice if you're there, but that's not the trophy we're going to get here.
No,
maybe we could change it and put the I don't know what you call it, perspex glass. What is it?
It's glass.
What is it made of? Oh, it's up there somewhere. It's like up in the
We've seen it on the shot. I'm pretty sure
there it is. I can see it. It's up there. It's up there. I don't know what it is. It's got like a light shining out of it.
It looks like the Pink Floyd cover. You know what I mean? With like the light diffracting through it. Anyway, well, we are going to be jumping into this one in just a second. Lunatic High on the defense to kick things off, and May is present. Now, normally we'd see Esker on May. That was the old Lunatic High, but now with Ru Jae-hong coming off of that support role into a flex now, that means he can play that. So they can now have both of those key threats. They're going to have a 2-2-2 as a result of that one, but May can be considered a bit of an off-tank in some ways. Anyway.
Yeah, so, of course, we'll see whether it works out for them. We did see a solid first-point hold here yesterday, which was something that you never really expect to see, of course. But that was from Luxury Watch Red. Let's see what Afreeca Freecs Blue can do.
Yeah, just quick correction as well. Lunatic High, they are playing 3 tanks still, of course. How could I ever have doubted it? But single support. Dean only playing the Ana. That's all they've got so far. So Dean's got a lot on his plate here, but look at this. It's going to be a pick comp to come out with. Well, sort of anyway. It's double tank, Recry on the Hanzo, and they're still running Arhan to get in the back lines and find those supports.
Yeah, you can see he's going to try and get around the side already. Recry looking towards getting up there, but he's going to immediately get batted down by Miro. No way to get through there. One of the big DPS players already down. They're still trying to get the flank through here. Arhan manages to chase down Chajan. He gets himself a quick kill there. That could work out well in the favour. He tries to zip himself in, gets a focus on Dean. Not able to pick up the kill though. And more importantly, Adam goes down. So without the Reinhardt, they're going to have to back away.
The idea here is really good for AF Blue, though. In fact, the fight's not even really done. They've got to respect the fact that we're a couple players still off towards the side now, and Arhan's going to go back in. Great sleep dart. Now Arhan turning it around. It's going to be Recry finding Esker, and Arhan onto Miro. All of a sudden, you thought the fight was over, but AF Blue stand on the point and look to take it here.
The point I was literally about to make, just as that happened, was don't forget it's a long run back from the spawn, and as soon as it happened, sure as hell, they got a quick couple of double kills. Now, can they switch it quickly? That is the question. Arhan going in on the Tracer, has the pause bomb. There's not a great deal of ult build-up because it was a bit of a mismatch of a sloppy, almost a lucky break, effectively, with Recry and Arhan getting those kills. It does mean that they can't go in for the fast double switch.
Now, Recry won that fight on Hanzo, even though he was in a 1-for-1. We'll talk about that a bit later because it was very important. Now, though, he's going to switch over towards a Soldier 76, and you can see that Afreeca are just trying to get a good coverage over this left side now. Pick anyone off that may be out of position. Arhan is not going to win that fight. He knows he needs to back away, but you can see all of AF Blue are going to push in here from the left side of the screen. Arhan's already got himself into the backlines here. Hook doesn't connect from Litajon. This could be dangerous.
But the fact they're going from the left side does mean, I'm going to say, somebody has to get up here. The pulse bomb goes to Eski, just about jumps down in time and also throws himself, the heel circles down, gets himself kept alive. But Tajon taking so low, but not enough damage from Arhan coming around there. Mano does manage to get himself a kill on me.
Oh my god.
And the flank straight into Dean. Execution style, the side of the head. But Tajon comes back. Recry with the tactical visor trying to get it work. Eska also with a good flank. He's actually in the front door at the moment. The rocket mid-air caps his Mano. And you can see Recry with his own tactical visor not able to make it work. And they're going to have to back away. Lunatic High will hold on for now.
The fact that Arhan recalls and ends up in front of Dean while he's looking elsewhere, because who expects that really?
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. It still wasn't enough to win that fight out there as well, and that was heavily on the back of what Eska was doing, but Arhan already has another pulse bomb ready to go. So that Tracer now is pretty darn deadly. Lunatic High hoping to deal with it here. They've actually got the Winston for Miro. Tajon as well needs to be hitting those hooks to deal with Arhan, or his team, not just him, are going to be in dire straits.
So, Lunatic High now into default defensive position, get themselves set up around the side. Jaehyung just quickly using tactical visor to block that. I think Tajon actually took the rockets in his face. He did. So he managed to take those Hex rockets, and that put him low already, and they just chased on that one. Arhan and Recry made him capitalize on that one. Now they're on the point. Now somebody has to deal with this, because that point can start getting capped out. It's going to force them to drop down around the side, but it doesn't matter when Eska and Miro have gone for a full flank and done the damage.
Yeah, you see the reason that Litajon got picked off at the start of that fight actually is because Lunatic High are pushing quite far forward here, just to make sure that AF Blue push themselves into a man advantage. I think Jason said it yesterday, if you want to win on these 2 CP maps on attack, you need a really strong first fight and have ultimates for the second, right? If you're lacking players already and having them picked off, you're punished very heavily in a 5v6, so that's why Litajon wants to stand so far forward and make sure that AF Blue can't build any momentum going into the point.
So, Graviton Surge built with the sound barrier. This is the combo they need to make work, of course, with this pulse bomb in Arhan has, which is why you see him sticking with the team this time. He's going to toss it out. Is it going to be enough? That's the question. Doesn't look like his self-destruct is going to get answered, and gets himself a quick triple kill, and that attack is shut down before it begins.
That's it. Tajon gets the hook in there to finish it off, and it is done and dusted. So, a couple different approaches have been tried out here by AF Blue. They tried the left, they tried the right. Now, they've realized that it's a little bit hard to push up on the top right side. The Graviton, of course, was waiting for them, which made life hard. Arhan switches to the McCree here. Now, it's an interesting pick, in all honesty. The Tracer worked out for him fine here. There's a few options, of course. He can deal with Miro, flash him out. They can burst these tanks down if they're stunned out. You know, if they can get on Toby and cause him problems. And obviously, Eska will struggle as well if he's stunned. So, yeah, interesting to see not a 76 from Arhan and Recry maybe switch to something else as well. No, Gyeonggi, we'll see how it plays out, though. Double hit scan for the win, apparently.
Yeah, tactical visor ready and waiting to go both sides, so keep your eye on that one while Arhan tries to get that chip damage down on Eska, force him away from there. They have control of this left side. Now, they've got to be careful as a flank. Again, that's exactly where we're seeing Arhan going. He's going to try and deal with the back door. Meanwhile, the tactical visor ready to go from Recry, and he's in a good position to make use of it. But you've got to keep your eye on Dean at the back there. He's getting taken very low. Finally, the shield comes out just about in time from Toby to keep him alive. And at the moment, this is looking good for Afreeca Freecs. They're starting to chip down Lunatic.
Yeah, they've got a good position. They've lost the shield, though, here from Adam, so they need to just take cover for a moment. Recry shouldn't be popping that ultimate until Jaehyung is dead, or he gets into the back right. Dean dodges the Helix rocket coming through, but now the tack visor in. Where is that Diva? Nowhere to be seen, but Miro to the rescue. He jumps forward, and now with a Primal Rage, Recry, no room to even breathe.
Yeah, clearly making the call there. Recry thought he had it in the bag, but the shield once again from Toby. Then the heal grenade coming out, a biotic grenade from Dean, just enough to keep him alive through that low damage. The Hex rockets, I don't think it quite cleanly connected, otherwise he would have been a dead man.
Well, no, he didn't connect it, that's right. And then he went for the tack visor just to make sure he could take the kill, and he sort of knew at the time that Jaehyung was actually elsewhere on the map, so he wouldn't be bothered by the defense matrix. But Lunatic High have a lot to deal with this. I mean, quad tank again for them, it always seems to be that option. Now the wall comes into effect. Eska playing May this time, and there was no way that Adam is going to have any help from his team. Completely walled off, forced away, and this is why May is still a pick on these maps, and they're going to follow this up.
Yeah, good surprise factor there from Eska, switching over from the Soldier, going over to that May, catching them off guard and walling him out, instantly dealing with the tank and just buying themselves so much more time. Body Blaster coming into action now, getting himself the kill on Dayflight. And Afreeca Freecs now with just under 2 minutes to try and close out this map.
So now you're wondering, what's the option? You're actually seeing Recry switch off the 76 here now, which I find interesting. No, switches back to it there. So, I mean, might have tried a little bit of a run with Tracer and decided that didn't work. 4 ultimates for AF Blue, Earthshatter, Graviton's there, Deadeye, and also Nano Boost. There's a lot to work with here. Really enough that would normally win you a fight, but it needs to be a clean win to the fight here. And now, most of the team gets split up here. AF Blue working with 4 on the point.
Yeah, they managed to get 4 through. That's about all. But Miro's already chased down Arhan, gets around the backside of them, and that's a big damage dealer already down. Mano goes down. They're just going to force to run away from this one. Expect to see him, well, he tries to jump off the side, but Adam not allowed. No, you're going to get executed. Not allowed to jump away. Miro, in the end, comes around and collects it. So he picked up the kills on the front door. Miro absolutely everywhere at the moment. 1 minute to go.
Yeah, and Miro, not only is he trying to single out people that are maybe left behind, but he's following up with the other tanks, right? It's another big body to hit. It's a little bit of extra damage in there with the Tesla cannon, but also the fact that he can be anywhere he wants to at this point at any time.
I'd love to follow him, actually. It'd be nice to see him, obviously, the pattern he's using, because you can see him just above. He's going to flank around. He's going to drop down and flank around behind him once again. He's already tried to come around the side, so that wall comes down. Graviton Surge catches them all in now. Now, Mano's holding his Graviton Surge at the moment. There was no kills coming in, so there's no follow-up this time around. Recry has been picked off, though, by Dean there. You can see the Deadeye coming through. Arhan only manages to get himself 1 there, and that's going to be Toby. The shields will be down, but Mano manages to pick up another. Now Esker down. Now they're in trouble. The Blizzards are doing work, though, on point. Adam gets himself a quick kill. And suddenly this is looking good for Afreeca Freecs. They're going to clear them out, but the question is there going to be enough respawn? Look at Ajay Hung up on top. He's preventing him from getting out as Toby gets caught out by Arhan.
Perfect timing. He knew that the Tracer would spawn where she was after using the recall because she'd been sleeping for so long. So he just lined that one up, got the flash in, and AF Blue getting the point taken in the end. It was a weird fight, Lee. Very, very weird. The fact is Lunatic High was split. They were split themselves. They put a Graviton on the point and had no one but the Zarya that let it go to follow up on the damage. It's an ult wasted. They were split up, and then we saw AF Blue really start to build some momentum and jump on those segmented parts of Lunatic High's defense. Yeah,
very well played. All worked out in the end. So, Afreeca Freecs managed to finish Hanamura, something not a lot of teams have done lately. Certainly if you look back towards the Overwatch World Cup and exactly how that one played out. But here it is, Lunatic High, and that man Miro on your screen, MVP of the World Cup. Let's see what he's got to handle here, of course. Playing a brilliant Winston on defense. Will he play it on attack, or will he go back to the Reinhardt? It will be the Reinhardt. Okay, let's see how they're going to work this one. Afreeca Freecs, more importantly, because they're going to be locking in, and they are going to be sticking with the Mei on Recry.
There's a case to be made for going for that here on the attack. We know that Lunatic High have quite a few options up their sleeve. We know they can do a lot with picks like the Gyeonggi, of course, and they bring the Tracer in here. My issue is that maybe Taishun may be lacking backup if they try and throw him into any sort of weird solo Gyeonggi situation. They're going to actually play their own Mei into this. Now, this is what I like to see. We actually saw it yesterday in the game between Gyeonggi Panthera and Luxury Watch Red. If you're a attacking Mei and you place a wall that goes lengthwise away from you, in the opening as you're pushing into the point, the Mei that is invariably waiting around the left side to try and throw up the wall, defensive wall, to cut your team in half, doesn't have the line of sight to get a wall across the opening. So you can block Mei's line of sight with your own wall. You can block her wall with yours, basically.
Block a wall with a wall,
And then you sort of waltz on in and get the fight started, and their Mei is way out of position now because the defenders are all pushed back on the point, and Mei was off towards the side trying to put a sneaky wall up. And you pretty much get a 6v5 if you can capitalize on that properly.
Well, we're in the east, and they're quick builders over here, so maybe we're going to see a lot of walls. Who knows? As it is. Arhan, of course, on Gyeonggi. Best in the world, we'll find out. He certainly did very well on it on Ilios. Now, of course, Lunatic High on the attack. Toby, but look at Arhan. He's right around the back of them. Sneaky tactics. He's going to execute Dean. Oh, he missed! He missed! Oh, no! Arhan, that's not what you want on a good flank like that.
Yeah, see, no harm, no foul, though, because he gets to back away and won't worry about it too much. But yeah, 2 right clicks, and it should be a dash melee to finish that one off there. Not really a Gyeonggi main, but there it is. Hook comes in, but nice reflect there. Arhan reflects all the damage from the Taijun, but Esker and Dean still get 2. Not enough to capitalize on here. Esker needs more, he hopes for more, but he's going to struggle now. Pressured down by Mano, forced to go in towards the ice block here, and of course his mate, Adam, caught out from the rest of his team and will go down. Although Jae-Hong,
yeah, low hit points across the board there for Afreeca Freecs, but they do survive, they do hang on. Jae-Hung is still up here, so they've still got to deal with the flank, but of course Arhan now with the Dragon Blade ready and waiting to go. Another deflect, perfectly placed there, gets himself in and out, but now the point is given up, and I don't think they're even going to contest.
And that's big, because it looked like Lunatic High were going to get pushed straight out there. The kill from Jae-Hong on towards Adam, getting rid of the Reinhardt from AF Blue, force them back. They had to contest here.
This is risky.
They've got a few players here to work with, but with Mano going down so early on, there's going to be struggle City, and now Arhan, Dragon Blade. This is desperation, but he's hooked straight away, and he's taken down.
And this could be a quick flip now. This is really dangerous for Afreeca Freecs. They've decided to contest it. We could see a quick flip. I want to see whether anyone's dashing in there. The Blizzard comes out from Recry. Freecs is pretty good, actually. Manages to get himself a single kill, but look at that. They can't even desuit the D.Va. Gets the wall up. That's enough to slow them down. Now they're going to get the respawn, so that was enough to delay them there. Freecs absolutely needed that because there was a danger. I wasn't sure. I don't think Jaehong would have gone for a quick double cap there. I don't think they would have been able to do it, but there was a small element of danger there for Afreeca Freecs, and now they were in careful because they haven't got any ulti stacked up ready to go.
Yep, straight onto the point there. Wall going up, not really the most effective placement, but Mano falls already to Ru Jaehong now. Lee Taejun is purple, does have, of course, the Vita Grenade on him, and they forced Mano out, Adam out, should I say. Now, Freecs, nothing he can do. There's no Reinhardt there to stop the hook from coming through, and now Taejun, he can whole hog Adam away. The Reinhardt, he can't even get involved in the fight on the point, and meanwhile, Lunatic are setting up for the long haul. It's going to be a cold winter. The Blizzard comes down.
The Blizzard does come down, and it's going to work out well for Eska. Taejong manages to get himself back from the respawn. Mano will go down, and the Lunatic High looking to take this one very quick and easy, or quick and dirty, whichever way you prefer to call it. That is going to be all she wrote. There's going to be a respawn. Mano's going to be the first one out. Is it going to be able to get close? No, not even close. That is going to be Lunatic High closing out in a very quick time. And of course, well, when it got the time back system coming in, I didn't even notice actually how much Afreeca Freecs. I think it's like 20, 30 seconds, is it?
Well,
is it not even that? Wow.
8.9 seconds on the clock. Not ideal at all, of course. They're going to get a small extension to that, but up against the time bank that we see here from Lunatic High, that is extensive. The lead that they've been able to put up against them there. We saw this attacking main, right? Something we didn't see from AF Blue. Obviously, Blizzard is still very, very strong in the way that it works. Obviously, it takes a little bit longer to charge it up or to get that ultimate percentage going as that main. But Jaehong played very, very well on that D.Va. He realized, of course, that his out damage is almost every other tank at close range. He immediately got in Mano's face, got rid of the Zarya, and then you notice that Adam, the tank for AF Blue, was pushed right out of position. So there was no one to stop that poke damage coming into the point, and then immediately there's a hook on towards Arhan, who'd switched towards the mate himself to try and get some control, but it wasn't to be. 1 minute for AF Blue, of course, having a bit of time extension, but 6 minutes and 19 seconds in the bank for Lunatic High. That is a huge lead.
Afreeca Freecs need to take it in the first attack. They're going to maybe get a second attack off the back of that, and which is probably why we're looking at maybe an aggressive setup here. Now, Arhan did work well on Gyeonggi on the defense. He's going to work as well on the attack. You can see the setup. Jaehong, it's basically all about stalling. You got the D.Va in there, you got the Hog in there, you got the Mei in there. Pretty standard stuff from Lunatic High on the defense. But here we go. Let's see if they manage to get things started.
Well, Arhan going to dash through now as well. So already he's given his position away, but yeah, he knows now he can at least attract some attention. And Freecs trying to make something happen here as well on that Mei, but he's already forced down. This is not a great start from AF Blue here. Last time, we actually saw Freecs play a Hanzo to assassinate Ru Jaehong on the Mei. That worked well, but here, not really an option.
Taejun landing the hook on Arhan, who did make the switch to Tracer, as you pointed out there, from that Gyeonggi. Now he's going to be coming back, so it actually could work out well because he could be coming back on the flanking maneuver. We know he can go fast. Taejun actually sitting off the side, so Taejun's kind of guarding effectively against Arhan's position while the rest of the team cover off the mid here. Now they're going to have, what, 16 seconds on the counter. Walls go down, they get separated. Adam getting pinned out, just about gets his wall up in time there. Miro has been picked off though by Mano. That's a good start for Afreeca Freecs as they push on through. The pulse bomb goes down, doesn't get the damage down as the shield comes out there. The biotic grenade just about keeps him alive, but Freecs tries to get the slowdown. He does manage to freeze up both targets, and the rest of his team come in. Afreeca Freecs have done it. Oh my word, they're actually going to take the first point.
Yep, the Blizzard coming up pretty darn big for Freecs there. After a strange wall to start the fight off, but Lunatic High, they can't get to the point. So at the very least, AF Blue have 3 points in total now going into the rest of the map. They've got 25 seconds to work with here, so it's enough for one fight, just one.
I'll be very surprised if we're going to get the double quick flip, but they're going to go for it. Now, Dayfly has himself the nano boost. He can throw that onto Adam possibly, who has Earth Shatter ready and waiting to go. Dangerous situation. Eska with the tactical visor up on high, making it work. He does manage to get himself Freecs down. That's a big deal. So it's going to clear him off. Adam did get nano boosted, does manage to get himself a couple of kills there. And Mano gets himself one. Arhan gets a second, but the Blizzard comes in. That should be enough to slow things down. Eska on the cleanup duty now. And the garbage man, I believe he was called earlier on, has to jump out the side there. It's not enough. They're going to get the respawn cycle now. And I feel that Lunatic High may well have just done enough to trickle through.
Well, Graviton Surge comes in here. They got a couple of players up on the point, and AF Blue have taken a lot of chip damage over the course of that fight. There was a position where they looked like they'd be able to win it here, but no, it looks like they will be bundled straight out of town. Taejun pushing forward with the pulse pistols, and just 3 points over the course of the match. That is all that AF Blue are going to get. A lot of time available for Lunatic High there, but kudos to Afreeca Freecs for actually pushing onto that point in the way that they did. The first time they attacked, they used a Hanzo, and the Hanzo was very, very nicely played because they used the Hanzo to go up in the window on the left side and quickly assassinate the mate because he knew where she'd be. This time, they didn't run the Hanzo, this aggressive push on towards the point, using that high ground on the top right side, paid dividends.
Yeah. The biggest issue there, it seems like there was literally nobody dealing with Eska. Eska had free reign as a Soldier 76, and when you've got that, basically giving free damage, which can be quite crucial damage, certainly in the current patch.
You only have 25 seconds to attack the second point, so you don't have time to go up the top right side. Eska knew that, so we could just stand top right, knowing that no one would challenge him there.
So, Iron once again, going on to the Gyeonggi on defense. We do see, of course, the main for Recry. So, standard stuff from Afreeca Freecs is exactly what they ran in the first half. Now, they've got 6 minutes, 19 seconds to hold this first point. They can, of course, lose it and tie the map, in which case we're going to Nepal if they can hold the second point.
Obviously, the Mei here as well will be picked up for Recry. You know, Mei now much less of a staple than she used to be. Really only used in situations where you want to be aggressive and fight up close using chokes, as I mentioned earlier. But now we see her a lot on these maps.
Yeah, we should mention, of course, Lunatic High got held for 7 minutes by Misfits on the final point. So we'll see whether it can go any further. But here comes Lunatic High charging in around the corner. Immediately going to see if they're going to get walled off. Jaehong goes in, tries to bait out the wall, and immediately goes up and over.
Perfect.
So the wall baited out nicely.
That's all you have to do, and that's what we didn't see from Gyeonggi Panthera yesterday, but I digress. Fight continues, but a deadly biotic grenade thrown onto Lunatic High gives them pause for thought, actually forces them back. They've lost 2. Good hook. That's Recry gone, but there's not going to be much capitalization on that here yet.
Yeah, not a great deal to deal with this one. Arhan's coming through, slicing his way to victory. Toby goes down, and it forces them back. So Afreeca Freecs buy themselves the first minute of the 6 that they have to hold.
Blue setting up a little bit more. They're going to have a nano boost not too far away. Recry didn't get much, of course, damage done, so he'll have to wait a little bit for his Blizzard. But again, wall nowhere to be seen. Recry not back at the point yet, so they actually couldn't wall Lunatic High off, having lost the Mei earlier on. Now they're going to have to get up close and personal here, right up in their faces. Lee Taejun pushing shield up as well. 4 Miros, they go ahead, and they're on the point. Let's see if they can hold.
Yeah, the wall came in, but it was a last-ditch effort, and they'd already lost quite a few people leaked through there. Adam getting nano boosted, but it doesn't matter. Jaehong gets himself a quick double. I can only imagine that was a self-destruct off the side. No, it wasn't even. He's still on 87%, so I don't even know what it managed to pop them all out there. But Afreeca Freecs forced to defend the final point. They're going to have 5.5 minutes to hold this.
And this is the implication of Taejun's cheeky little fadeaway hook that caught Recry on Mei in that first fight. They'd lost the fight, Lunatic High did, right? But they killed Recry. It's a super long walk back, so they knew they could push in the point. There'd be no threat of a wall, so they could get in the face of AF Blue without the Mei stopping them.
This is risky. This is risky from Arhan. Okay, and see what he's doing. He's getting the flank. I mean, he managed to get himself there. Ooh, the hit, but he got a good chunk of damage. Now they know he's out of position. They're going to try and pile in there. The wall is good, though. Eska forced away from this one. They're getting around the side. We're not seeing a great deal of it, but the Earth Shatter came down from Adam. Caught Dean straight square in the jaw. Eska getting around the side, but there's Blizzard. Recry getting caught in. He does have a Blizzard of his own. He manages to get himself a quick freeze there, but it's not going to be enough. Freezes up Jaehong, but this is real dangerous. Lunatic High on the point, but it's a trickle kill. You can see they were already back in position. Mano also getting himself the kill off the side. Recry finally going down, but this is tit for tat. And the problem is they have to get themselves lots and lots of kills all at once. And that is going to be Mano with the Graviton Surge and Self-Destruct holding them at bay.
Yeah, Taejun and Jaehong are still up though. Great hooker towards Dayfly. Liana taken out of the picture now. And Mano just trying to help Adam out, but Taejun is sustaining through the damage. Eventually goes down. Good charge, but Jaehong given a new lease on life now to press forward towards Adam. He can't get through the shield. He's also got a Reinhardt there as well, and Jaehong will be ejected from his suit, probably briefly from this complex as well if he doesn't stay alive. But now we see Eska pushing up on the point. Arhan, Dragonblade going.
Yeah, he's got the support coming back in there, but Arhan's managed to slice his way through without those tanks to defend them. The supports will get forced away. Amy even picking up Eska around the side there. Arhan getting real ballsy here, trying to get some pressure onto Miro and Toby, and he's actually just going to force them all the way back. You can see he's got the support of Recry as well as the wall comes down, tries to pin off that tank and buy themselves some precious time. And speaking of time, 2 minutes has already passed. So far, so good for Afreeca Freecs.
Right, we just saw how close that fight could have been, or I guess how close Lunatic High were taking that point. a May ult on the attack is still really good, but again, AF Blue have a big ult bank to work with now, Lee, and if they just see through this one by one, or just, sustain that, they should be safe.
Iron making the switch over to Soldier 76, getting Sleep Darted, but manages to get himself survived there.
Great
the wall to keep them at bay, but it doesn't matter when Adam comes down. Nano boosted up, slams them down. He's been picked off now. This is dangerous stuff for them. Miro, though, will go down, and that's going to be a follow-up. The wall, actually, from Recry, kind of working against them there, effectively. Could have needed to cancel it out a bit quicker.
And it's a Lunatic High heading for the hills now. Obviously, losing that fight pretty much at the beginning there. It was a decent wall, but...
troll wall.
Okay, bit of trolling. I don't mind a bit of that, but look at Rujahol, the assassination attempt here as well. He hit himself waiting for the appearance of Dayfly now. And Dayfly trying to back away, and he just gets behind the shield. Just gets to safety, but that could have been the catalyst for a winning fight from Lunatic High, but they are denied that opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, that's the danger of kind of messing around effectively in a game there. They're going to come straight through the front door this time around, but look at Mano. He's got Graviton Surge ready and waiting to go. They're going to come around the side. He's in a perfect position to just plonk it down right on the head. He's going to split them up. There's going to be the Graviton Surge, pulls them all in. The wall will hold them at bay, but Adam is swinging for the fences, picks himself up a quick and easy triple, and that is going to be Afreeca Freecs defending once again. 220 and counting. Now, hold on a minute. Esker and Tajan just picked up a quick and easy double, but Recry will keep them at bay, and there's Arhan and Cleanup.
Yeah, it was really because there was a Blizzard committed to that fight by Esker there. I think you're going up against a big ult bank from AF Blue, so if you have any inkling of that, you don't want to use the ult there. I guess Esker not too fast because he's switching now over towards a Tracer in this situation, but yeah, Lunatic High committing ult to that fight, which was already lost after the Graviton came down, is a bit questionable, as AF Blue still have an Earth Shatter and a Sound Barrier, and Attack Visor ready to roll.
So, Arhan in a bit of a dual tail. Oh dear, Jaehong completely out of position there, and that's going to slow things down. You can already hear they're trying to get in there. Esker's trying to do what he can, making the switch over towards the Tracer, but a quick rocket to the face will put pace to that one. And Arhan's in no mood to mess around here on the Soldier 76 this time. So making a lot of good adjustments here is Arhan.
So, some switches here. Lunatic High going for the Winston, going for the Tracer now as well. So, bit of a dive aspect here. They're looking to really try and get onto Arhan or get on towards any of these supports. Dayfly specifically. Let's see if it works out now. Recry just not sure way down there.
Wasted the timer on that one.
Wanted that wall. He really did need that wall. Now Miro going to be able to go in from the side here as well. Mano does challenge. He's going to head straight up to the high ground, and Tajan is stalking his prey.
Sound barrier already been used as well. Tajan ready to try and drop down. He's got that Death Blossom ready and waiting to fire off, but he's in no position to do it. Toby gets picked off. Sound barrier to no avail, and they're going to get forced away. So Toby picked off with Sound Barrier in his pocket, so clearly not an option for it. But 50 seconds, Mitch. Just 50 seconds to go in this game.
Yeah, I'm of the opinion that it's pretty much now or never, but Lunatic High lack the big bang composition. They lack that Graviton Surge, and the Pulse Bomb is not quite ready. They could wait on that, but they will be cutting it very fine, but it's going to be dangerous. Look, Arhan might get himself caught out there. I don't know why he dropped down, and Miro manages to pick him up. Now they have the 6v5. Lunatic High must move now.
He's going to get the respawn as soon as they get back in there, but it's going to be do or die time, like you say. Tajan hold him back. He's got that Death Blossom ready to go. There's the Sound Barrier. Pulled in by the Graviton Surge. Doesn't need to use it just yet. Holds on to it. Realizes those cannons can be enough. And he's already taken that Recry. That's vital. There's no ice block to keep them in there. If they can just deal with this self-destruct, it will not happen. And I think they've done it in the last second. They managed to get kill after kill. Here comes the ult. Adam, is he going to be enough to keep himself alive? No, he gets picked up quick and easy. They just have to clear the point. No, he's still holding on. Jaehong manages to get himself a quick double. Any more on the point? No. Overtime he's going to tick in, but it might just be enough to get the respawns in there.
Yeah, Mano on the Diva there, so can stall for a couple of seconds. Max Recry finding Toby. Again, Tajan now again ready to deal with this Winston. He already used his Death Blossom to try and deal with it here. We're in overtime, but the kills are coming through for Lunatic High. Now a nano boosted Monkey, not quite going to be enough there. Tajan now trying to get some space, taking a lot of damage from Dayfly here, but it is one after another. And finally, Lunatic High should be able to press through. Arhan recalls off the point, and it's too long. Map number 3. Going to go over towards Lunatic High, but my God, Lee, they had to work for it.
They went into